That's all we see. This is what we need.
Treason?
Treason. But I told everybody, when we were putting together our mock government, you were the director of treason prevention, right?
People would be scared to do treason if I was in charge of stopping treason.
We can't keep... What are you, crazy? You want to commit treason with Matt?
He'll see people's guts get ripped out and rot away. It's going to have an effect on what they do.
Hold them up. I'm going to rip your guts out now. Oh, speaking of, I keep forgetting to go and get that video of you hitting the deer carcass. Like it's a Rocky movie.
It's good too because you got bone area, then you have flesh.
Yeah, you get a little bit of both.
That's why if you hit a heavy bag, you should hit something a little harder after that to mimic hitting bone, because then your hand will be used to just hitting like fleshy areas. You need to get used to hitting bone. You know what you should do? You should actually remove all the sand from your sandbag. And just hit the pole?
No, you should put bones and meat inside of it. Think about it. I mean, it's going to smell very bad after a couple days.
Maybe they make something that mimics it.
A meat bag. We used to call meat bags something else.
What?
Boobs.
I never heard that one.
Fun bags. Meat bags.
Saddlebags.
Saddlebags. That's around the hips.
Yeah, I know. That's, it happens.
Listen, it happens to everybody gets.
It happens to men's testicles too, right? They start drooping down to your knees.
Something like that, I heard. It sounds horrible. It sounds horrible.
It sounds painful.
Can you imagine sitting there? And I know this happens.
Sitting on your nuts.
Sitting on your nuts. I've seen that happen to somebody. I don't know. It was in high school. Somebody sat down, and screamed. What happened?
What the fuck?
I sat on my. They couldn't even say. I sat on my nuts. Like, what? How long are your nuts?
Nuts are longer than his shaft.
Oh, man. It's, I don't know what the hell to say, but there's that. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff going on tonight. We'll talk about them all. I want to talk about the Onion, a follow up on the Onion buying Infowars. There's actually a lot more story to that. And it's fascinating. So because I mentioned it last night, I at least want to get an update on it. And in the second half, we have a lot of DOGE. That's Department of Government Efficiency, so-called. Anyway, whatever the hell happens with that, I just wanted to get into some of these, like the Rand Paul festivist reports from 2023 and wherever the hell's out there, because we used to follow all this stuff. For years, we would go into what government was spending, crazy experiments, scientific studies, things that have, it doesn't even matter if they have any kind of purpose. They're all completely outside the bounds of the authority of our government. So I wanted to talk about some of the craziest things that we're spending money on. Maybe you can call in and not only share thoughts from throughout the week, but you can also say what you would like to immediately stop spending money on, or any other first order of business day one for your presidency. You can call in with that. It's Friday. You can have some fun. I have other things to mix in along the way, including this. Matt, there's a follow-up on the peanut thing. You heard about it, right? Well, we were together.
They murdered the animals.
We heard about that night. And we were even saying, you know what this means, everybody. If they're talking about rabies testing, that means that these things were not only gassed, but they were decapitated because you have to test their skulls. And then all of a sudden, that became a very sensational part of the reporting from there on in, that not only did this woman report the family or whatever the hell it was, to report the farm for having a squirrel inside of it, just out of spite, but she actually marked it for a very gruesome kind of death.
I hope her life is ruined.
Oh, well, listen, hopefully it was worth it, because now she's going to have to call Donald Trump her president for 4 years. Not going to tell me that this didn't have something to do with the energy in the air.
I want her life ruined for more than 4 years. I want her to regret what she did to these animals for the rest of her life. I'm serious.
Well, listen, you're coming from a standpoint of somebody who had to put sick animals down, and that I know that was not one of your favorite things to do. You don't like doing it, but sometimes you have to. So for somebody to be so frivolous about doling out death like this, even though you've just pledged yourself to...
Well, animals are innocent, and to me, like, you know, an animal is... To me, it's the same thing as almost like a human when you kill it. So
right.
That's why if you need, you know, head of executioner, I can stomach it.
An unpaid executioner at that. So you know he's doing it just out of duty. Okay, now tonight is the Tyson fight. Matt, will you be watching it? I will.
Yeah, after. I hope Tyson mauls him.
It's going to... It starts at 8 o'clock, but... That's just that. I guess it's going to be like any other night of boxing.
Probably come on like maybe 11:30. They'll probably come out, right?
Yeah, so something like that. So I'll keep myself awake. I got to see it. I'm going to see it, and because I want to talk about it. I also want from the get-go, I didn't know what the hell to expect from this. If it were WWE, I would actually go into this a lot more, lighthearted about it, knowing that it's a predetermined outcome and the entire thing is going to be performance. You're going to get whatever. This, I hope that somebody takes it serious. I really do hope somebody takes it serious.
I think Mike, I don't know. He has too much respect for boxing not to. I would hope.
But this stuff here, but this stuff right here makes me feel like it's all bullshit. Now I saw the slap. Did you see the slap?
He hit him, bro. It looked like his face may have started to swell up a little bit. I don't know.
There's red.
Definitely, yeah. And he acted like it didn't hurt, but he was crying inside. As soon as that hit him, he was like, "Fuck, that was a slap."
I know. No, shit. I keep hitting the wrong thing. See, that's the thing, and I saw people in the comments saying the same thing. He didn't even see the slap coming. Let's take a look at this for a second. Hold on. Where the hell is it? Here it is. Just a little bit.
I didn't even feel it. He's angry. He's an angry little elf. Mike Tyson, I thought
that right there. I didn't even feel it.
I didn't even feel it. He's angry. He's an angry.
He didn't even. There's no response. There's no response. He was just eating it.
Little elf.
But Mike, here, listening to Jake Paul now screaming.
Tyson, I thought that was a cute slap, buddy, but tomorrow you're getting knocked the fuck out. I'm fucking him up, Burial. I'm fucking him up. He hits like a bitch. It's personal now. It's personal now. He must die.
All right, Juicehead.
The he must die shit.
Oh, God.
Come on.
I hope Mike's taking it serious and this
Joe,
never hear from this idiot again because he's too afraid to box after this.
Joe Gaudio just texted me. He said, "You're talking boxing without me." Well, I don't know, Joe. If you want to call in the second half, will be. I just want to hear some thoughts from you because I know you're a legitimate boxing aficionado, and this, of course, is a more on the circus side of things. I would just want to see what you're expecting from it. We'll do that in the second half, though. I hope you're still watching. So he must die. So apparently Jake Paul is not only going to beat 58-year-old Mike Tyson, he's going to kill him. But listen to this. Mike Tyson took a life shortly after that or shortly before that. Did you see this interview that he did with this young...
but I saw things like he forgot he was talking to a kid, so I don't see what he said.
I don't think he forgot he was talking to anybody. She can't be 14, 15, 16 years old. And she landed an interview with Mike Tyson. And she figured she had a really great question to throw a sports great and get something down there or whatever. And look where he takes this poor girl.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend, Mike Tyson, in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before. Someone say that as an answer.
I've never heard somebody give up on life.
Give up on life.
I've never heard anybody give up on the joy of life before, Mike. Thank you so much. I mean, listen, this kid, she went in with a sweet little question for an all-time great, and he drops this existential nuclear bomb on her about we're all going to be dead and forgotten.
Look at his face right there.
Look at it. I mean, what is... dude, this was an all-time... This is a classic media interaction. This needs to be framed for all time. I was screaming.
Imagine him as a press secretary. That's what he did. What are you going to do about it? Just start threatening people?
Oh my gosh. When I saw this, I started screaming. This is just incredible. I mean, he looks like he's about ready to jump off a cliff. So he's doing it all in. So there's that. So who knows where it all goes? Sylvester Stallone had some stuff to say about Donald Trump. Did you hear this?
It's his boy.
He called him the second George Washington.
See? You still want to talk shit about Sly?
What do you want me to say? I'm not the one.
That it's fake news what you say about him with the things.
I didn't say anything. I didn't make up.
Whatever you read is fake news about him with the things.
With the Dolphins? I didn't. Listen, that's just the internet. That there was, I don't know.
You said it was true.
I said, Matt, what did you think about it?
And you keep saying it every couple of years, you keep bringing it up.
Well, anyway, let's listen to what he has to say. Actor Sylvester Stallone praised, this is from Just the News, praised President-elect Trump as the second George Washington and a mythical character.
Yep.
He also invoked his iconic boxing movie, Rocky, in his speech on Thursday night. He said that he was in awe of the election results. Take a listen.
Was a picture of Jesus, and it says Resurrection AC Club. I found a church that had been converted to a boxing ring. So the image pans down from Jesus onto Rocky being hit. And at that moment, he was a chosen person, and that's how I began the journey. Something was going to happen. This man was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump.
All right, Sly.
We are in the presence of a really mythical character. I love mythology. And this individual does not exist on this planet. Nobody in the world could have pulled off what he pulled off, so I'm in awe. And I'll just say this, and I mean it. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
All right.
So,
over the top.
So between that and
his career will not suffer at all.
No, he's suffer proof.
His new show, the Tulsa King, well, it's not new, but that's a really fucking good show.
What are they in, like season 3 of that now? I haven't seen one of them.
2.
Only 2?
Yeah.
I feel like it's been going on for forever. I gotta check it out. I never check it out.
Yeah, I think season 2. I think.
What is that? Italian mob out in Tulsa?
He gets
just mixed?
shipped out.
Okay.
He gets shipped out to Tulsa.
All right, I'll check it out. Lauren
good,
and I, we need something to watch.
I'm like him as a like mobster. I'm like, but dude, he does it good.
Do you watch Yellowstone?
Where the fuck is it? Isn't it on Paramount or Peacock? I can't find it.
They just put it out. We've been waiting for it. Obviously, now I totally misunderstood, and I don't want to play spoiler right now for anybody out there. But if you watch Yellowstone, then you definitely at this point, how could you not have seen the first episode back for the second half of season 5? Only thing is that I was under the impression that Kevin Costner was going to film some stuff for this last half of this last season, and then they were going to do another season completely without him. I didn't know he was just gone because, dude, I can't say it if you didn't see it, but
Well, I didn't, but now I think I know what happens. Thanks a lot, Frank.
It starts. I mean, look, dude. It just starts. It accelerates. Maximum acceleration.
It's on Peacock?
It's very strange. I don't know.
It's on Peacock or the Paramount?
Paramount. It's on Paramount.
I couldn't find that shit.
I don't have the app or anything like that. We DVR'd it on Sunday night, and then we watched it, I think, Monday night, Lauren and I, so we can go past all the commercials.
Yeah, I looked at Paramount.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this one ends. You definitely needed him. You definitely needed him to finish strong. We'll see where it all goes. It's very strange. I'd like to see what other people think about that, but I don't want to ruin it for Matt. Okay, let's get this one started. We have a lot to do. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me beat Peter McNeely on Comcast Cablevision. Comcast Cable. Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me fight Peter McNeely on Cox Cable. Cox or Cox? Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me beat Peter McNeely on Salmon's Cablevision.
No, Salmon's Communication.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's person on the planet. But so on the way back home, we're still in character. And I tell her, oh man, I can't wait until we can get back home to mommy, being Lauren. I said, I can't wait to get back into that warm house of ours. And she said, no, I'm the mommy and we are married. I said, who's married? You and me? She goes, yes. I said, but I'm already married to mommy. She said, Dad, just pretend. I said, okay, I love you, Aurora. And she looked up at me and she said, I love you too, Frank. Oh man.
Yo.
Oh man. Made my year 5 times over. Oh, I love you too, Frank.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that's that. I hope everybody has had a good week with us because I've had one hell of a time. I really have. And I've had a really great time watching responses like this. Here's the one of the craziest people on the Democrat DNC page shill lush end of Twitter. Jojo from Jers. Jojo says, at this point, if Biden said he was nullifying the results of the 2024 election as an official presidential act in order to save our democracy, he would be totally justified because, yeah, save our democracy, nullify the election because what is underway? And she's talking about all of the appointments, all the nominations, no matter how much of a long shots they are, because what is underway is the destruction of everything we hold dear. There will be no coming back.
Good.
I hope. I can only hope because really this chick is one of those canaries in the coal mine types where if they're upset, something is going right. You usually take a canary down in the coal mine. If the canary dies, that means that, okay, we got to get out of here. There's some dangerous gases built up. If one of these people are upset, it means something good is happening. So I totally enjoy that. But you know who's a real badass? What's her name? Jillian Michaels.
The exercise chick?
Dude, yeah. Now, I've known of her. I've always respected her, especially being a personal trainer and knowing the brand she built up, and you know, because she was also just nutrition and everything else. She was a lot more holistic, even though I never bought any of her DVDs and shit. But a lot of friends of mine really idolized her. Kalina Kalina's huge Jillian Michaels fan. Always has been. But I haven't even heard from her in a long time. And then all of a sudden she shows up on Jesse Waters. And she's going off on people who are hating on RFK and saying that he's not a serious candidate and he's going to do a lot of harm to the country. Listen to this. This was just such a great call.
If you live a simple, clean lifestyle, then they're not going to make as much money and they're not going to have as much power in Washington and throughout the rest of the country. It's really about power, isn't it?
Well, it's about power and raw economic incentive. And as much as we can suggest that it's simple, it's not easy, and it's not easy by design. And in fact, it's called structural violence. And it's this collaboration of this toxic quartet, if you will, of the way big farming proliferates these cheap toxic calories. Big food picks up those calories, and they tinker with it a bit more with their food scientists to make it more addictive, to make it omnipresent. Then Big Pharma catches us on the other side and starts treating all of our sicknesses with all their diseases. And we won't even touch on big insurance and how they play a role because there isn't enough time. But the bottom line is, look at the world. It's this simple. Infertility, highest ever. Early onset cancer diagnosis up 79% over the last 3 decades. 74% of adults in America are overweight and obese. We need change. We need it now. What they're doing isn't working, and it's not working on purpose because it's profitable for the very few. And it's bankrupting Americans. It's the number one cause of bankruptcy is a health-related condition, and it's killing them. If you're afraid of RFK, you've lost your mind. Take a back seat, let the professionals in this space handle it, and thank God when it starts improving. Period.
That's great. I'm sure really, the RFK meltdowns have been the best part about all of this. I'll take everything. I love every aspect of the show right now. It's really great, but the RFK meltdowns in particular, because if you're talking about saving people's lives, I mean, we always say you got nothing if you don't have your health. And the meltdowns have been amazing because it is forcing people into these really self-defeating positions based on nothing but, I have to be on the other side of this. I have to find a way to protest these otherwise very commonsensical reasons to be happy. That somebody's caring about what the hell's going in our food, what's going in our water, what is being tested before we inject it into us. We're going back to the screeching about measles again. Measles is going to make a comeback. They're always saying. And the CDC came out and said that measles is going to make a comeback, and they blamed it on the emergence of the RFK presence inside of the upcoming Trump administration because people are becoming more and more hesitant to take all these shots. And I'm like, the Johnny Appleseeds at the CDC just woke up after 4 long years of completely ignoring that during a pandemic there was an open border, there's millions of people coming through. You'd think that from an epidemiological standpoint, you'd want to close down your borders if there's an actual pandemic going on. And then after that, even when all the lockdown stuff started loosening up, you had many millions more come. I mean, that's number one. They didn't say anything about millions and millions of who knows who crawling over the border with scabies and everything else. They don't give a shit about that. Not at all. And but the whole thing here is that most people don't care if you want to take a vaccine or whatever the hell you want to do. Just like most people don't care if other people out there really, really feel the need like they have to try to smoke crack or I want to smoke cigarettes or whatever the hell it is. If you're an adult, you can really do what you want. I mean, but it would be nice what we are asking for, what most people are asking for. Everybody has their opinions on things and their stances. But I think a great common ground is, can we have more independent clinical data? It would be nice to have liability protection taken away for these drug manufacturers. Let's take away the liability protection, number one. Why would we disagree on that? And it would be nice for informed consent to be fully respected. Because the one thing that doesn't jive when they start talking about, especially vaccines in particular, because that's a big thing on Twitter right now, is the idea of, oh, they work, they're safe, they work. But if that's the case, then the unvaccinated don't need to be kept away from schools and workplaces to protect the vaccinated, because it's either they work or they don't. We were talking about this during COVID. So they can't have it both ways. That has to be broken down. Let's say Lauren and I found a school district, a private school, a small, whatever the hell it is, some kind of a boutique education experience over here that we actually thought would be on par, good quality. We liked the curriculum. We liked everybody. We liked everything. Can't go because of, this ridiculous dozens and dozens of shot schedules. Can't do it. That's ridiculous. If everybody in the school is all shot up with the magic, then they're magically protected. I don't get that stuff. It's just got to work logically. But that's why I think it's just an incredible thing that we're seeing with the RFK thing in particular. It's incredible. That's the whole issue here. There's no interest in exploring actual immune function and the role that food, water, exercise play in the treatment and prevention of disease. That's a huge thing here, like Jillian Michaels is saying. You know how many people I have seen, just because they have to oppose this, have been clinging to fluoride? Like, look at this. Here's a minute 16. What is this, a compilation? Hold on. I got it right here. Listen to this.
Definitely did not expect to be asking you about fluoride in water 2 days before the election. I was a little shocked that one of their closing arguments for Donald Trump was take the fluoride out of water.
He's going to have a big role in healthcare, a very big role. He knows it better than anybody.
We haven't talked about this at all in the last 700 days, but suddenly the thing that's been normal in this country for 80 years, it's like, we're going to get rid of that on day one.
In the tweet last night, on January 20th, the Trump White House will advise all U.S. water systems to remove fluoride from public water.
He also linked to a site that features outlandish health claims, conspiracy theories like HIV-like viruses are in vaccines, and widely debunked medical claims.
This is a tweet from you.
Cancer viruses, Simian 40. I mean, there's the long history of stuff like that.
Fluoride is an industrial waste associated with arthritis, bone fractures, bone cancer, IQ loss, neurodevelopmental disorders, and thyroid disease.
Of course, fluoride is in water has been known to keep your teeth healthy, prevent cavities.
They actually went to that. People still cling to the teeth thing.
It is safe. It's not toxic.
There are some rocks to be thrown, frankly, at RFK Jr. about this stuff, because some of it actually is just straight up dangerous.
23.5 million people thought it was pretty great. The news media hated it.
Definitely.
I'm telling you, they're clinging to everything. This one harpy lady that I saw, one harpy lady doctor I saw complaining about how we need food additives and corn syrup. Yeah, we need it because without that, there'll be less food for poor people to eat. She's like, well, we're got to keep costs down or anything like that. Literally racking their brains to figure out how we can rationalize feeding poor kids in this country neurotoxin trash instead of thinking about how we can shift consciousness toward practical ways for families of every socioeconomic class to eat better food. I mean, that's just it. And here's the other thing too. Want to go back to illegal immigration. All the protests of RFK usually, or anything that has to do with the ideas out there to float on how to better our food and everything else, it's usually attached to some kind of tacit admission that apparently this is what they say, at least 40 to 50% of the United States agricultural sector is apparently being run on the backs of illegal aliens. So it's essentially the Democrats and their slaves again. Okay? 160 years later, after the end of the Civil War, Democrats are once again freaking out about the loss of their slaves and their indentured servants because it's not hyperbolic. These people are here getting paid dirt, keeping everybody else's wages suppressed with the hopes of being granted amnesty. That's indentured servitude. And I'm not joking. Keep your eyes out for it. Keep your eyes out for it. The common number is like 40%. 40%. So they went from downplaying how many illegal aliens are even here to then calling them undocumented persons, dreamers, newcomers, asylum seekers, and now they're straight up going Django Unchained with, if you deport them, we're going to lose 40% of our work staff in the fields. They have these people picking cotton now. It's just, I don't know, man. Maybe it's a good time for some kids to skip college and go work on a farm. Maybe it'd be good because it's been just really insane. But again, not on our end. Not on our end. Knee-jerk reactions, they put themselves in these positions that are indefensible. But let it keep happening. They think that they're winning somebody over, and they're only looking worse and worse. All right, on to The Onion. Now, yesterday, Matt, we were talking about how The Onion bought Infowars. Apparently, they were just like the front group, the face of this whole thing, whereas the money supposedly was coming from the parents of Sandy Hook. That you got
with what money? Money that
this is the whole key. Listen to this. So there's more on this onion buying thing. Apparently, the purchase was blocked by a judge. And let's go to here's a little bit from the Independent. The bankruptcy judge overseeing the auction of Alex Jones's Infowars has raised concerns over the process by which satirical publication The Onion won the bid for the conspiracy theorist website and related properties, ending his 25-year run of the media company. During a status conference on Thursday, hours after Jones raged on his final Infowars broadcast about the deep state was shutting him down, District Judge Christopher Lopez says no one should feel comfortable with the results of this auction. We are all going to an evidentiary hearing, and I'm going to figure out exactly what happened, Lopez said from a Texas court. I personally don't care who wins the auction. I care about process and transparency. The Onion, and this, of course, is where the Independent says, let's first remind you why Alex Jones is a monster who should be destroyed no matter the cost. And they go, The Onion and families of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting victims announced the purchase of Infowars properties on Thursday, years after Sandy Hook families sued Jones for defamation, the hoax, he owes them gun. They go through the body count and everything. So that's it. Bidders in the auction, here's the thing. There's supposed to be an auction. Alex Jones apparently had set up there were friendly buyers. I don't know, they're friends. I don't know if he funded it too, if it's definitely by proxy. They were coming in to outbid everybody and pretty much get his brand back. But the feds and the people who are running this they needed him to lose this so badly that they changed the circumstances and the way that this auction was going to be run, and they turned it into something other than an auction. And what happened is this. Bidders in an auction for Jones's assets, including Infowars, were required to submit their best offers, but the amounts were not shared with competing bidders. So it's not an auction. You need to be able to outbid somebody. You have to know who's bidding what. The only other bidder, Jones's proxy, First United American Companies, argued that the bidding method meant that competing bidders could not know what they were up against. The Onion's parent company, Global Tetrahedron, has not disclosed its bid. The trustee, he's a Fed, I believe. The trustee who ran the auction said the total amount was a better deal overall, but came in under First United American's $3.5 million offer. It was under it. This wasn't this was an auction that didn't happen with a bid that was lower with money that wasn't real, Jones said on social media following the news of an offer. Now, that's where the Independent left it. And that's where a lot of, bought and paid for rags out there are leaving this story, because the truth is, the most important part, they leave out why it's so serious. It may be a serious fraud case. I don't know. We can see where it all goes. But first, let's go here. The CEO of The Onion is Ben Collins. You guys remember Ben Collins, this squirrely little freak? Well, he is the CEO of The Onion, and here he is gloating about what he is going to do once he gets his hands on Infowars, the brand, and how he is going to essentially just molest it, because they're very, very devious, rapey kind of people. They'll do whatever they can to whoever, and the less you like it, the more they like it. So that's really just, this is what democracy looks like under them. Here it is. Listen to Ben Collins.
Here we are. The Onion owns Infowars. Look, we're going to go after all of every facet of alternative media that is trying to get you addicted to stupid stuff. There is a whole world of podcasters and TikTok influencers who have some really curious ideas of the world. And I also think that we're learning right now that their followings are just as big, if not bigger, than traditional celebrities. And they
much bigger, Ben, much bigger. We just won the popular vote, and it's not because of Fox News. Much bigger, Ben. They've
gone unmocked. They got a free pass to this point, and we don't think that that's fair.
Right. He's going to turn the tables on everybody. He representing The Onion, a completely irrelevant satire outlet, is going to mock us all into submission. I'm telling this is why John Carroll reminded me of this wonderful piece from 4chan back in 2022. This explains the mentality of really effete, soft penis people like Ben Collins and everybody who thinks that this is going to be some kind of a big win. But they don't know how else to really come at alternative media. They don't understand how to steamroll the landscape of new media, and they need it steamrolled because they can't compete. They are the most unpopular kids at school. Nobody likes them anymore, and they suck. Anyway, remember this? Anon says, you want to know something hilarious? They have no idea what to do with you autistic fucks. Literal master's degree holding feds have debates, PowerPoints, talks, de-escalation training, and containment of negative thought exercises to de-radicalize agents that lurk here and elsewhere. I've been to the briefs. It's actually the reason why I quit. They're so unbelievably incompetent and retarded that actionable counter-meme plans were drawn up and war-gamed. I shit you not. Middle-aged men were thinking of ways to make Pepe the Frog gay so that Nazis wouldn't want to use it anymore. They have nothing. Outside of blatant censorship, they have lost. They can't do anything about you all. The only semi-smart thing they did was start accusing everyone of being a Fed so they can trip up online movements from turning into actual demonstrations. That's it. That's all they've come up with in years of lurking. So to recap, they can't meme. They hire tranny therapists to help their poor radicalized lurking shit posters. They wanted to turn Pepe gay. They literally have no idea how to stop you autismos from memeing them into defeat. It's hilarious. And remember, every shit post that makes them look like idiots actually infuriates them. Never stop. And I just want to say, no matter how much the screeching goes on, no matter how much screeching you see out there in the media, please remember that post. Never stop. You got Ben Collins out there trying, and we're going to get into the money. Where'd the money come from? Why this may be a fraud case, and I hope that Ben Collins and everybody else goes to jail if it is. But this is what they think they have to do to be able to win. We got to take Infowars away, and we can make it a subsidiary of The Onion, and we can start doing memes. They're so fucking, they're such losers. They're such losers. So here it is. Let's see. Ben Collins. All right. This is where it gets picked up by mainstream media outlets, but they downplay how crazy it is. This is from Jikoku Cake. The agent in charge of the auction decided to change the rules last minute, flaunting the proper process, presumably just to get revenge on Jones on behalf of the state by humiliating him. Okay? So they changed this thing up. Walter Sikak, an attorney for First United American Companies, told U.S. bankruptcy judge Christopher Lopez that Murray changed the auction process only days before deciding not to hold a round Wednesday where parties could outbid each other. Sealing the bids, they were submitted last week, and the trustee chose only from those. And apparently there was an admission that who they awarded Infowars, the brand to, and the property and everything, was actually a lower bid. That's not an auction. So here's the thing. They attempted to buy Infowars secret setting. Should have been in an auction. Someone roped these Sandy Hook. I wish I knew a little bit more about that. The Sandy Hook families, including smirking Robbie Parker, to pledge their lawsuit reward for the acquisition of Infowars. That's what it is. Apparently, they pledged the reward from the lawsuit, which I guess is over $1 billion. Something. Maybe what it is.
Probably the biggest fine ever.
Yeah, but the whole thing, Matt, is that this money is on appeal. And I heard Alex Jones talk about it, but I also was just reading more, and everybody else was saying the same thing too. That is on appeal, and they don't have that money until that's actually dealt with. Then they don't have that money. It doesn't exist. So there is no money. So before legitimate buyers could participate in a real auction, the feds, through sheer political will alone, attempted to arrange a secret sell-off of Infowars to the lowest bidder of their choosing, who were pledging money that didn't exist as collateral. Now, I think I read something else, I don't know how true it is or whatever, that they were also pledging income from the Infowars brand as well, which would make no sense because there is no value to Infowars without Alex Jones. And that would be like buying a house, going up to somebody who's buying a house and saying, listen, I don't have money right now, but I intend on turning your house into an Airbnb. Can you give me it now? I'm going to start selling time on Airbnb and I'll start paying off the principal later. Which it makes no sense. So obviously there's nothing but politics here. And, it sounds a lot like fraud to me. I mean, it's definitely a fraudulent proceeding. It's unethical. And, this goes beyond Alex Jones. He's going to be fine. He has a forever audience. Wherever he parks himself.
Well, he went live already.
He started something else. It's called the Alex Jones Network already. But, he might have both.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. He should sue them now, and then they're going to end up having to pay him a fucking trillion gazillion dollars.
Like I said, it's not even really about him because all the trial was a sham too, but all this can be done to us is the issue. It just goes to show how they're willing to go. I guess they're willing to go to jail. This sounds like fraud to me. It sounds like what they're willing to do to be able to regain control of the media again is just incredible. So I say take heart, especially since they probably thought that they were going to be having some, 4 more years of renewed backup in the White House, and now there's going to be a complete change in regime soon. I don't know. There might be a little something here. That's all federal. That's it. Okay, let's take a quick break. Let's take a little break early. It's 10 to 8. We'll take an intermission now. We'll come back and we'll just start with your calls and we'll have some fun. So 914-200-0269. Come back with us, 914-200-0269.
I am straight! I'm not gay! I'm not gay! I'm straight! And I like women, and women only! There's nothing wrong with being gay, but I'm not! I'm not. Okay?
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button. Thank you.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly, guys.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
So everybody watch. Quite frankly. With Frank.
Yeah, okay, so welcome back, everybody. I just checked it right now. I went to Netflix just to see what's going on. The live event does start in 9 minutes, but there's at least 3 other There's 3 other bouts. So, yeah, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul aren't going to start their whole thing until at least 10:30, 11, maybe 11:30. That's what I'd say. So you got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Okay, let's take some calls. 914-200-0269. Join Matt and I. Join us. Join us and let us know what the hell's going on. There you go. Let's go into some super chats. Jay Britt says, what a night. Matt's alive and Donald Trump is the second coming of George Washington. Wow. Matt, you've given a lot of people a lot of reasons to be happy.
He's the God Emperor.
Yeah, but it's your life, man. It's your life. People are happy that your life has been spared.
Do you want to go to the Ascension?
To the inauguration?
The Ascension.
Imagine at the inauguration he actually floats down. Like there's a low-lying cloud that comes in and he floats down.
No, it wouldn't be cloud. It would just be like an aura of gold or something.
And he's completely illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes all the Democrats, you think that there's going to be, how many senators and stuff are going to like boycott it? They're not going to want to be there. They're going to say something about I can't bear to be there at the scene because it's going to be
worse than Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, this is as if the emperor of Japan was being like crowned at Pearl Harbor.
This is literally worse than slavery.
You know, you think about what they did with January 6th and the Capitol building and all that stuff.
They're all those people about to be pardoned.
And the fact that they're going back there to inaugurate Donald Trump. So
he should invite them and give them front row seats.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jay Britz. Stowe Soup says, I certainly hope that Tyson knocks that fool out tonight. Even Frank and Matt. Oh wait. Good evening, Frank and Matt.
Mike Tyson.
Evening, Frank and Matt. Wonderful weekend, gents. Yes, I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
I don't think Mike Tyson can knock me out. Not now. In his prime, maybe.
You don't think he can knock you out right now? You don't think Mike Tyson?
I would just give myself a reason to keep getting up until I was dead. So if you get dead, if you get killed, that's like beyond a knockout. So technically, you got knocked out of life, I guess.
You got knocked out of the planet.
I'd be like, you gotta get up, you fucking.
Get up.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word.
I don't know. Maybe in a couple of years you will. Things are getting better.
You know what I was about to say?
Yeah. Things are getting better around here. Let's take a call. 815, you're on the air. Hello.
Frankie, it's Dean.
Hey, Dean, how are you? What's on your mind?
Dude, I just called to give Matt his kudos.
There you go.
He was right about Sly Stallone the entire time.
I told you, he's a Trump ally. He's one of his biggest allies he's got.
He was right about Sly Stallone the entire time.
In what
Call
way?
him the second George Washington. Friggin' amazing.
That's
Forget about the Dolphins. Don't give a shit at this point.
You know what? Consider the debt clean. That's it. Hey, that's a big statement. Man. That's an enormous statement. That's a Matt,
it is
Matt level statement.
Is. Yeah. So that's all I needed. I'll keep it short. Let someone else get in. But that's pretty much it. You know, I just wanted to give Matt his kudos.
I kept saying, stop saying that about Sly. He's boys with Trump. He was boys with him in his first term and went no problem taking a picture with him and the granddaughter of Jack Johnson after he pardoned him.
Yeah, he got right up there, did not give a shit. And said, this dude is the second George Washington, and booyah, there we go. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But I mean, outside of that, I'll say, you remember back in, was it 2018 when Trump started firing off those White House text messages, those mass text messages? You guys remember that?
To our phone,
started flipping out
to our phones.
Yeah. Remember the text messages from the White House?
I don't remember what they were, but I remember the first test of the phone. Yeah.
I just thought it would be funny. His first morning in office, Inauguration Day is over, wakes up in the morning, fires off one of those White House text messages like, "Good morning, everyone. It's your favorite president." And then he can have a picture of him sitting at the Resolute desk eating an Egg McMuffin or something.
Oh, that would be nice.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, as RFK, thank you for the call, Dean. As RFK is trying to get us all healthy, he starts tweeting with McDonald's. There's going to be a little bit of there's going to be some conflicts optically because Donald Trump is a fan of fast food, definitely is, and there's definitely going to be some barbs thrown that way. Jay Corvin 2400 on Rumble says, for the liberals freaking out about losing slaves and workers, they can rest easy knowing in January there'll be plenty of government workers out of jobs looking for work.
True.
I know. There's so many men and women can go right there to picking cucumbers. That'd be great. That would be wonderful. Okay, let's see here. 219, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, this is John.
John, welcome.
I didn't know Matt was a Q-tard.
About what? He was Matt didn't follow Q.
Well, he insisted on the word ascension when you were talking about the inauguration. He came back rather vehemently with the word ascension, and that's the last Q post. 4966 on November 22nd, 2022. So, Matt, are you going to own up to being a Q-tard, or was that just an accident of your own perception?
That's the name of a Trump wave song, my man.
Okay.
That's not. In fact, I wouldn't even call it an accident. That is
way
just,
before that Q post, by the way.
That is
I was saying that
ascension is something that Matt. That's just a Matt kind of a thing. That's just a direction he would normally choose to go in with describing some sort of an event with Donald Trump there. It would have to be somewhat of a spiritually...
An ascension, an anointment? You want me to say anointment
well,
instead?
Here, let me anoint you then. This Q post is what we call a delta. We Q-tards talk about deltas. And on November 27th, it'll be 2-year delta. And it says, and it's very short, it says, what's coded in your DNA? Who put it there? Why? Mankind is repressed. We will be repressed no more. Information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information is power. How do you protect your DNA? There is a war for your DNA. Protect your DNA. Ascension. Q. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You guys just triggered a...
I didn't know that.
You just triggered me.
I didn't know that.
So, well, while I have you on the air, John, what do you think that means? The 27th is the night before Thanksgiving, and what do you think that means? I'm curious.
You know what? I'm one of those guys that's somebody asked me once, is Q real? And I said, or is Q a psyop? And I said, of course Q is a psyop. And how do you know what's real? It's because future proves past. Well, we got to get past the 27th to figure out what the hell anything means, kind of like Nostradamus kind of crap. We're all just sniffing glue here in the form of words. So,
Yeah. He hasn't posted, that was the last post? He hasn't posted anything since the election?
Since November 27, 2022. That was the last post, number 4966.
Almost 5,000 of those things. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that there was that many. There's that many.
Yeah, he shut down for a while, and then he just came back with a spurt of the last few in 2022.
Okay,
and that was the very last one. So I just wanted to play a little mind game here and see how many of us are really.
Well, no,
ate the red pill.
I get what you're saying there, John, and thanks for the call. But when it comes to Matt, he's usually operating on a different kind of program. he's usually whenever he says something, it's usually I don't know. I guess you just have to know to know. But I don't know, the whole the future proves past. So you would have to on the 28th. You'd have to look back at the 27th and see what happened. Is that what you mean?
Maybe, I don't know. It sounds like he's like on some type of like Marvel timeline thing or something.
It could be something Marvel. It could be.
Marvelous once he takes the final ascension during his anointment.
There, you did it again. All right, here we go. Over on quitefrankly.tv, then we're going to get back to your calls. Robert Sarnes, thank you. Atway says, love the shirt. Where can I get one? Oh, I don't know.
It's just a white T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, there's that one too. You just get a white V-neck. I love those as well. Doug Simmy, thank you so much. Atway says, this is for Matt. Slap them cheeks.
What cheeks? Whose
I
cheeks?
guess butt cheeks.
All right.
I guess your own. Sean Joe, thank you. Stephen and Lori says, Yellowstone on Sunday, Paramount's 8 p.m., CBS 10 p.m. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody.
Well,
but
I already know what happens.
What do you know?
I can already tell what happens.
I didn't say anything.
You said enough for me to put it together.
I noticed that he was not in the first episode. That's all I said. And then
that's not what you said.
And then it made me
rewind. That's not what you said.
And then I went back. I said, hold on, let me read some of the press here. What the hell happened to Kevin Costner? I knew that there was a dispute about the labor there. He was doing that Horizon movie or whatever the hell it was. He wanted to work on that. But I thought that they were just going to do the last season without him. I didn't know that he was just like, later.
Gonna get...
What? Get what?
Go ahead, say it.
I'm not saying anything.
Whacked?
I didn't say whacked.
You said enough for me to put it together.
No. Listen, he's not... You're going into this season...
It's not about what you said. It's about what you didn't say.
If you know anything that's going on, then you know that this season they are going to have to find a way. Everybody that's going into this show who's been watching for five seasons is going to wonder.
Imagine it's just be like, oh, he started taking blood pressure medication and ran off with some fucking dude or something.
That's it. Yeah, he went to. He's gay now. He went to a retreat. And
he got spotted in a nightclub.
Yeah, the blood pressure medication all over the place. He's gay now, and he didn't want anything to do with cowboying anymore. He left. But if you watch the show for 5 seasons and you know what's going on with Kevin Costner, then you knew that the number one thing that the show was going to have to contend with this year was how to get rid of his character. So we were wondering, and I didn't know if there was going to be like, flashbacks or if there was going to be something like unused footage. So I'm going into that already knowing that something's going on. I'm not going to talk about the plot. You guys watch it.
Yeah, they have that other flashback guy they use for a lot of scenes.
Who?
The younger Kevin Costner, the guy's supposed to be.
Oh. But those are like, flashbacks 30 years. That whoever the hell that guy is.
Maybe he left to go explore the Great Plains.
Yeah. Ascension, this is from Paulie9363, says Ascension is the name of Catholic hospitals owned by George Soros. Well, that's disturbing. All right, let's take a call.
How am I supposed to know that?
484, go ahead.
Hey, it's AK.
AK, what's up?
I love the reactions from all of the liberals and stuff. Did you see that the chick out in Washington who killed her father because Trump won? I don't mean to laugh, but
wait,
I shared the article in the Gilded.
She killed her father?
Yes. She hacked her father to death with an ice pick or something.
An ice pick?
Yeah, I shared the article in the Gilded if you want to see it. But yeah, it's crazy. Talk about reaction.
Good.
The tolerant left.
Good God. Triggered. Oh, here it is.
Maybe there's something wrong with her.
Triggered by
mentally.
Donald Trump's victory. Seattle woman brutally kills her father with an ice axe.
Fucking psycho.
Oh, she's nuts.
Yep.
Oh, this is fucking terrible. No, there's a lot of this out there. It's sad enough to hear about suicides, but if you're going to be this nuts, at least just don't kill other people. Just kill yourself.
I know.
That's what I say.
Especially your dad. The fuck.
Oh, I know. But there's other things. AK, I don't know if you've noticed it. These women are doing things. There's three things that's going on that I've seen. They have proposed shaving their heads. A bunch of people have shaved their heads. Like they are what's her name? Natalie Portman from V for Vendetta. They're shaving their heads. They're wearing a blue arm or wristband. I don't know what the blue signifies. So now they're wearing blue arms or wristbands. They're shaving their heads.
Maybe
it's
for
a cult.
Democrat?
Yeah. Maybe something. But then there was another one. Some other people were also trying to, like, they've gone viral on TikTok and stuff. They're trying to get women to wear the masks again.
Why?
To wear masks again. I don't know.
Why?
This one crazy person said that it would be a good way to self-identify, to be able to hide your face from the enemy and all that stuff, which I'm just like crazy. Like you're shaving your head like a cue ball and you're wearing coordinated items of clothing, and you think that is going to the main purpose it's going to serve is trying to identify people who are the same as you. It's just going to make you stick out. Oh, there's the crazy person. I almost want them to do that, because like, okay, that person, stay away from this. They are ready to pop. That person's ready to pop.
What about the 4B thing? Those crazies,
dude. So Matt, you know about 4B?
No.
Okay, so in South Korea or something like that, there was some kind of a social movement where the women were fed up with the way they were being treated by men or something, and they went on like a sex strike or something like that. American liberal women took it to the next level, and they wanted to add a couple of B's onto it. It's like 6B, and it really just goes hand in hand with this completely. I don't know. They're so devoted to all things anti-human, all things anti-life. Everything is just the death of everything: joy, pleasure, family, legacy, love. They're just so fucking miserable. And they're trying so hard to do this. So, AK, what do you think about that as a woman? What do you think about that when you read this stuff?
Well, I think they're bizarre, but when you were just saying that, I was just thinking like that they'll like fall in perfectly with the whole transhumanist movement. If they're so, the anti-human thing.
Yeah.
Like that's perfect for that like pathway that, people thought civilization was going to go down towards, but I don't know. I think it's bizarre, and I think all the people that are saying it, they're like, you're not going to have a child anyway. Like, you're not even good looking.
There is the irony of that whole thing. But I think, like, I was talking about this with Tracy this morning, and what it really comes down to as well is just that, especially in those circles, it's really sick to see how everything is so one-dimensional, and the genitals are everything. Like the fact that this is really the only bargaining chip that these women have. And it's like, oh, it's just disgusting. It's like, really, everything is between your legs, and that's really that's the real bargaining chip to the world. I mean, it's so sad in some ways, and demeaning and self-effacing, but they don't see it that way. They feel that they're on the upswing of their power somehow, but they're fizzling out.
It's weird, like the whole oppression Olympics thing that like goes with it. Like I don't understand it, but really the way to like gain sympathy or like attention, I guess, really is to like declare how like oppressed you are, and like it's kind of like the left, like the cool thing to be is like oppressed or something. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Here,
none of them make sense to me.
Look at this. Oh, no, that's not it. Here you go. So South Korea, 4B, it was like, I think 45% of women between ages 25 to 44 are expected to be childless and single by 2030. And then
45?
They say 45%. It's very creepy. It's suicide. And then here is 4B plus 6B. This is the North American side of things. They're saying don't marry men, don't date men, don't date with men, don't have sex with men, don't have children with men, don't buy products from misogynistic brands. They're anti-corset, so they reject toxic beauty standards such as high heels and plastic surgery. Well, I don't like plastic surgery either too much. Anti-fandom, reject male worship and idolization. Anti-otaku, that's reject misogynistic anime culture. and then anti-religion, of course, because there's no greater patriarch than God. And that's what it always comes down to, the family. I mean, it's crazy to see this kind of brain. They talk about RFK Jr. being like unqualified or ineligible to serve where Donald Trump wants him to serve because he once had a brainworm or something like that. I mean, their entire culture on the left is based on brainworms. I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
They're so fucking weird. I'm so glad Trump won.
You know, like I said, it gives us a little bit of a window of to breathe for a while. Let's just enjoy the holidays the best we can. Thanks for the call, AK.
All right, you too. Have a good night, guys.
All right, take care. I know AK is probably going to be very interested in our call with Bob Motta on December 3rd. I heard that some big things have happened in the Delphi case with the Delphi murders. So, okay, let's keep going here. All right, over to Pilled Yellowstone. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, look at this. Let's go to Babylon B, shall we, Matt? All right, first one up on Babylon B. Since it's Friday night, I want to see what the headlines are giving us. Trump worried that everyone will quit before he can tell them you're fired. Somebody in the comments says, can he executive order that they aren't allowed to quit so that he can fire them? No one's allowed to quit anymore. Conservative husbands sacrificially volunteer to have twice the sex to make up for liberal sex strike. Yes, we will do what we must. Here you go. What do we headline? RFK Jr. jumped in a dark alley by Count Chocula, Chester Cheetah, and the Kool-Aid Man. He never saw it coming.
Did you see that meme when someone opens a fridge, they reach for a Diet Coke and his face pops? He's like, don't touch that ass.
No, Lauren, hold on. Lauren sent me something. Hold on. Let's just do these. Let's do these. Wait. Sociopath reminds to how's it's going by actually explaining how's it's going. Well, that's it. Let's see here. Entire entrenched government bureaucracy to be dismantled by Indian guy and an autistic African American obsessed with rockets. I can only pray that something like that happens. Of course, they'll only be making recommendations. They won't have that kind of deregulatory power or anything like that. Another headline: Department of Government Efficiency identifies 535 government workers who haven't done any work for years. Yes. Albert used to call them the gang of 535. The government doesn't want you to know this, but you can just form a fellowship with your bros and go hiking for days. That would be nice. To form a fellowship and go bring a ring to a volcano somewhere.
Or like deliver a baby like in Willow.
That's a monumental task. Let's see. Lauren sent me something with what you were just talking about with RFK. Oh, here.
Don't you touch that ass for that baby.
No. Here, look. Here it is. Whenever I'm about to open up a bag of chips, I picture.
I saw that one.
Whenever I'm about to open up a bag of chips, I picture RFK Jr. giving me this look, and I put down the bag of chips and get myself a carrot.
I saw that one too.
I
put that in that bag of chips and get
don't
yourself
eat the
a
chips.
nice
Don't eat the
fried
chips.
carrot.
Why not a carrot?
You can fry a carrot too.
You know, Lauren bakes carrot strips into these fries, like carrot fries.
Probably good.
Oh, they're really good.
A little salt,
little oil. They almost taste like sweet potato fries.
Yeah, sweet potato.
You know, what was it? On that chips, I know that Linda Love had asked about this in the Gilded the other day, but we have a bag of chips. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just saying in my household, we have a small handful of them with every meal almost because they're just so damn good. They're called, what is it? Boulder? Damn it. What the hell is it called? Hold on a second. Boulder Canyon.
Boulder Canyon.
Boulder Canyon.
Close. I said creek.
Boulder
Creeks are in
Canyon.
canyons sometimes.
Well, you got to watch out though. It's only the avocado oil ones. If you get the Boulder Canyon avocado oil, it's sea salt, avocado oil, and potatoes. 3 ingredients, and that's it. If you get one with jalapeno, which Lauren picked up by accident one time, there's seed oils. Everything goes all for just to give it a little hint of jalapeno. I'm just like, that's so weird. It's so weird. Well, like,
touch those seed oils.
It's like, and the avocado oil ones are so good, dude. They're crunchy. They're perfectly salted. These are awesome chips. And there's only 3 ingredients and they're clean. I just don't know if you're going to add a little bit of a jalapeno kick in there. Why can't you just shake up the bag with some jalapeno powder or something like that? Where do all the seed oils come from? I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's just crazy to me once you start paying attention to this stuff that it is everywhere. You really just got to start little by little. To wake up tomorrow morning and just go 180-degree turn is almost impossible. You'll go nuts and you'll give up. You'll give up. Okay. Well, what's the matter?
I'm just thinking of the meme I saw where it's just his face was in the fridge. Don't you touch that can of aspirin, baby.
I got to go find it now. I love all this stuff. Hey, you know our friend Unknown Malone, who goes into the Red Dead Redemption private servers and trolls people? He did it again. This is probably one of his probably a classic. He went into Red Dead Redemption and he stumbled upon a group of people who were at a funeral.
That's weird.
There was another character. These people are having. Can you imagine having a funeral in a video game? Like you go to a funeral. I'm sorry, I got to be on Red Dead Redemption tonight. We're burying a friend's avatar.
And we just used to throw ourselves off bridges.
I know, but dude, look at this. So he's ruining a funeral. That's what he says. Ruining a funeral on Red Dead Redemption. Role playing. So they're all role playing, but look what he does.
So what the is happening over there?
That's a funeral, mate.
Oh, it's a funeral. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm in black too. I'm gonna pay my respects.
I wouldn't go up there, boys.
Can we go give an offering and then leave? Like just money?
Well, you know the person?
I'll go see. I might do. We might do.
As long as she's a quiet, it'll be fine.
Yeah, of course,
Press buttons.
All right.
Leave me this.
Yes, sir.
People up there.
So there he is.
Last warning.
This guy walked up and said, "Last warning, last warning, last warning, mate."
That was
Told you not to fuck around.
That was nice, buddy.
Well, you're both gonna go.
All right.
Now look at this person places the flower in her hair. Like these are all players. There looks like there's like at least 12.5 people there who are in a video. They can be on a horse riding off into the sunset they're having a funeral for another player. It's incredible. Now he just says, this is where he he makes his mark. He walks up to the body. My turn. And they and they're beating the shit out.
He's down. Saw that coming. Where's his mate? Got the other one?
Fucking asshole.
They're carrying him away. This is just crazy. People have second lives, man. They have second lives in these games.
He said, "Chew."
Yeah, that's you. Don't fuck around. Last warning, mate.
Last warning, mate. Come
Okay.
here, mate.
Come here, mate. Here is something for you. You know about the what was it? The Cooper's Hill cheese rolling thing in England.
Yeah, I think I have heard of that.
They roll the wheel of cheese down, and everybody goes running after it.
Yeah.
I love watching these videos just because it's incredible to watch the human body bounce the way that it does. I know that we have people out there in the audience who watch this show from Europe and maybe even just from the U.S. Anybody who's been a part of the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling and wake, please let me know. Because I want to know more about this. This is where participants race down a 180-meter-long hill, chasing an elusive wheel of double Gloucester cheese.
Gloucester.
Take a look at this. I just love the way that the people bounce. It's crazy. There goes the cheese. Watch. Look. Look at that. So there you go.
That's what they look like when they were running away from Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, they knew had to get out of there. Here's one more for you before we go to some more calls. Call on in. And then we have some other things to do in the second half. Let's see. Here is one more. There's a preacher. The caption is, I don't know how is it still so silent? This guy is about to give a sermon. And he misspeaks right up front. Take a listen to this.
Heavenly Father, our hearts are made ready to...
One more time. One more time for those heavenly farts. Mute.
Before we begin, let's pray. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, our hearts are made ready to hear the truth, to be stimulated, to love you more.
Now, let me ask you, if that happened to you, Matt, would you be able to continue on with your sermon? I would be done.
If I was a priest, I mean...
I'd be done. I even commented there. I would be done for the rest of the week. I wouldn't be able to come up to the front of the congregation and start talking without immediately going back to that moment. I might have actually ruined my career because I would keep thinking about it. Heavenly farts. That's the first thing.
Farts.
Oh, Father and hearts, farts. That's that. Okay, real quick break. When we come back, more of your calls, and we're going to get to Ron Paul, and we're going to talk about cutting all the crazy waste over here.
Jack on the cell phone. Jack, what's going on today?
When I can smell a guy's...
Wait a second. What the heck happened here?
Jack on the cell phone. Jack, what's going on today?
Hey, Mike, I want to slap your butt cheeks.
Okay, I heard that from Jack on Saturday.
I love when I can smell a guy's colon as he walks by. When you hug a guy and you smell his colon. When you can still smell his colon on your pillows, even though he's not there. After you hug a boy and you smell like his colon, less than 33. I smell like his colon now.
Donald Trump won, and I am very, very afraid that he might deport my mother-in-law. She entered illegally to the country, and she lives in Street 4, number 47, apartment D, New York. I am very, very concerned. That's right behind the green apartment. Yeah. I have nothing bad happened to her. The gate is always open. You don't have any dogs either. Street 4, number 47, apartment D. You should get the part of how my life would be. Why? Street 4, number 47, apartment D.
Hey Frank, you're one talented guy. You're very good. Very good.
I sure hope that guy's mother-in-law is okay.
Yo, the other day at work, someone drove through a barricade we sat on.
What? Was it Anthony?
No.
You ever
It was some lady. And then you see Mikey T go, oh, and then he's like, Donald Trump is coming. And I'm like, yo, that shit was that funny. He's like, did you see it? When I said Donald Trump was coming, I looked right at Dave in his face. Dave is one of the two dudes that hate Trump.
Yeah.
He's there. He's like, I looked at him right in his face when I said it.
What did Dave do?
He's just like,
He'll come around. He'll come around.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
Too bad. Well, then
That
I
shit
guess
was mad. He's like, Donald Trump is coming. He did one of those like that.
you better go home. Listen, that reminds me when you said somebody drove through a barricade that you put up there. And the first thing I thought of was an Anthony. Because were you around that night? The night that Anthony...
What? What?
Anthony, it was the night that Anthony, he was feeling the effects of all the garlic he ate. Okay. Anthony's kind of strange. Okay. He kind of gets flustered. He gets flustered and sometimes he doesn't know. He only freezes up and he doesn't know what to do. He was coming back from the food emporium where he bought himself an entire rotisserie chicken and a half a container of what he said was garlic salad. Okay? He's like, I got this garlic salad. So what the fuck is Wait. Wait.
Garlic salad.
It was, dude, he had already eaten it when he told us about it. Listen.
Garlic salad.
Okay. So wait. I said, Anthony. He came in, he told me and Mike about it. He said, me and Mike, we're at the studio. We're at the studio, and he's like, I don't know, I feel a little weird. I had this. Well, what'd you eat? He said, well, I he said, after my shift, I went to Food Emporium. I got myself a rotisserie chicken, a whole rotisserie chicken, and I got myself a container of garlic salad. I said, Anthony, what do you mean garlic salad? He goes, well, I went to the salad bar, and you know how you can get all this stuff at the salad bar? Well, I saw all these cloves of marinated garlic and stuff like that. I said, Anthony, that's a topping. You can. I said, Anthony. I said, Anthony, you put those. Those are cloves of. You can put those garlic on top of something. It's a topping. It's a seasoning. He said, "Oh no." I said, "Tell me something. Were you sitting in your car just forking cloves of garlic into your mouth?" He said, "Yeah." Matt, we went live at like 9:00 that night. By the time we had to leave the windows and the doors open. It was. I'm telling you, it wasn't even like when he farted once, and there was no smell of whatever. You know how it's a fart. It was just garlic, and even when he wasn't farting, if he walked by you, garlic was coming out of his pores. It was horrendous for days. He was working this out of him. It was horrible. He was probably scooping. People are like, wow. So that was it. But anyway, on the ride from the Food Emporium to the studio, He was coming up on this intersection. On the other side of the intersection, he's going to go through the light and go to the other, just keep going. But apparently there was a barricade up and he didn't see it or something like that. They had all of the road was ripped up. The road was ripped up and stuff. They were doing something to the road. And there's a cop standing right there. And Anthony goes through the light. And instead of taking the detour, he just keeps going. And now he's on the fucked up road where the construction is going on. He's going through the construction zone. And the cop is running after the car going, stop, stop. And finally Anthony pulls over. The cop says, what are you doing? So he had no answer. Turn him around. When Anthony told us that story, that he just blew right past the cop and went through a construction zone, bumping along, and that it was all on the same day that he ate this giant container of marinated garlic salad. Just like when we went to an Outback Steakhouse in Florida years prior to that. It was like one of the last nights we were in Florida. One time we went down as a family. We went to Outback Steakhouse, and the waitress came up. She's taking everybody's orders, and she's asking everybody. It goes to Anthony. What do you want? Ribs or whatever the hell it is. And then she asked him, "Super salad." And Anthony said. Anthony thought for a second. He went, "Yeah, okay." and everybody's looking. I'm looking at Anthony. Everybody at the table's looking at him like, well, what do you want? He goes, I'll take the super salad. And it's like, no, Anthony, soup or salad. He thought that they were going to give him a super salad. Do you want some ribs and a super salad? Yes, it's good times. Oh, those just the. That's that. So, I don't know why this came up.
What else he does is always. I never seen someone drop as much food.
Oh, Anthony. Well, listen, Anthony was always very, people would say clumsy when it came to dinner time, like as a kid. Every kid knocks something over, but almost every night Anthony would knock a glass of something over, or when he's eating, and even when he's eating now, you'll hear, sometimes I'll be in the other room and I know he's hearing, and I'll hear him stomp the ground and go, and I'll know that he dropped like an egg in his lap or something.
Every time.
It's just one of those things. Lauren just texted me. She said, I can't breathe. I'm sorry, Lauren. Oh, gosh. Why have this come up? It was garlic the barricade. The barricade. Anthony going through the police barricade for construction. Donald Trump is coming. Okay, over on Rockfin, Joe D says, I love your shows. I tried again to become a supporter for a year term instead of a monthly hit on my credit card and tried all the links you sent me without any luck. So I'll just send you tips through Rockfin. Well, there is no way to support the show yearly. It is all, whether it be through the website or Patreon or Subscribestar. I don't know anything that has a yearly option. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to keep dropping little tips on Rockfin, then you might as well just get into a monthly tip that's on something else that doesn't have to be converted out of a crypto it doesn't matter to me. Every year and a half or so I go and I check out what's going on Rockfin. But the crypto, the Ray coins, I just let them pile up a little bit and whatever. Oh, what's going on? Hot Legs, how you feeling tonight?
I am so dying. I haven't laughed so hard in such a long time.
Oh, I'm good. I'm happy.
Oh, gosh. Well, I want to tell you this story. It's a week late, but I want to tell you a story about election night for me. I was made to go to New Orleans for a work event all of last week, and it was really difficult to be out at a dinner with clients on election night.
Oh, man.
But we were private room, one of the most famous restaurants in the country, and Cajun staff, 5-generation staff, very, very hoity-toity, but just a lovely place with fabulous food, as everything is in New Orleans. So we're all sitting around there with our clients, pretending not to look at our phones. It's 7 o'clock, the polls are closing, and I'm trying to listen to you in one ear and my clients in the other, phones in the lap, that kind of thing going on. And so I just got so agitated, I was nervous. I went into the ladies' room, just like wash my hands and just calm down and get away from these people. And while I'm in there, Frank, this is the hallway of the wait staff. I hear really loudly them marching up and down the hall, singing that song. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets.
Whoa. That right there that's a sign right there.
It was a sign, and like everything just faded away. I got so freaking happy. It was a sign, exactly. But I couldn't believe it. So I stood there for like 15 seconds listening to it. They were so happy. And it was all ages, all ethnicities. So I came out and they all stopped. They saw me. They were like, oh, shit. We didn't know anybody was in there. And they were looking at each other trying to figure out, was it okay? So I went up to the head waiter who had been working with us and said, can I just give you guys a big hug?
Oh,
because you just made my night. I am dying in that room, and thank you, God, for being here.
that must have made all their nights on even sweeter.
Yeah. So we were like high-fiving in the hallway, and I went out back to my little hoity-toity dinner, and it was just, it broke the evening for me, gave me hope for this country.
That's and see, I was talking about this earlier on maybe it was earlier on today. I don't know when the hell it was, but it's really one of those things where obviously Donald Trump is a central figure in this story at this juncture in the timeline. But the real thing that is so elating is the fact that what you just said right there. This is a time where everybody can take account in a very big way. We could take account of each other. It's a very rare situation where we can take account of each other, and it's everybody. And the screeching, the squeaky wheels, who are really they have the most detestable and exclusive message out of all of them. They're shallow, they are hateful, and then there is just nothing. There's levity on the other side, and it
was the people.
Mm-hmm. That's the best part about it all. I understand that there's a central figure in all this, and there's a storyline. But what really makes this big is that we're not alone, and it's actually much bigger than we ever thought.
Yeah, and that song, kind of pierced the veil for a lot of people. I didn't realize. Who knows where it goes? You just don't know, and you're told such bad things. But this is a generational. Crosses all races. It was just extraordinary.
Yep.
And then one other quick story. The next day, I had an employee call me, lifelong liberal, and want to talk to me about the election. And I'm not supposed to do that, but I thought I'll just hear you out. So she said, I just want to tell you, I just lost a friend for 20 years, and I just want some advice about how to deal with it. So I said, well, if they're a friend, that's not going to last for long, or just tell me more. And she said, well, I voted for Donald Trump.
Oh.
And I was so floored. Okay, so tell me more. She said, gas prices are $10 here. I can't afford food anymore. And, I am a legal immigrant from Azerbaijan. And I did it the right way, and it took me forever, and I am pissed. And I think he's going to change this country. I was so blown away, Frank.
See, This is what does not show up in any of the Real Clear Politics polls or And it's very hard. It's the only things that you can take account of when you're out there just living and talking to people. It's the only thing you can take account of. You knowing people with lifelong voting habits that were suddenly broken for very, very clear, passionate reasons, that is more valuable than any kind of a poll you can get. Because if that's happening with one person, that's a monumental glacial shift. So
yeah, I've been kind of jumping up and down ever since and trying to get on the phone and tell you the story. But the eating the dog, eating the cats, eating the pets things, that cracked me up.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you got through tonight, and I always love when you call in, but these were great stories.
And hey to Matt. I just love your laugh.
See, Matt, your laugh makes everybody else laugh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Bye.
All right. See ya. All right. Here's another example for you. We were talking about this before with the Onion. How they can't meme. I brought up that little excerpt from the boards. They can't meme. They literally have no idea how to stop you from memeing them into defeat. And here's another example of it. Ben Collins. Well, we just figured we'd do a little mocking ourselves. So we found a way we called all of our Fed buddies. Like, think about that. We have feds that are helping us steal away a man's life's work, and we're going to turn it into an offshoot of a dying satire brand. You think that's going to be seen as cool? What are you going to have? Old, the liberal boomers coming to Infowars to get their memes from you, Ben? You're so fucking pathetic. You're fucking pathetic. And I hope you go to jail for it too, because that'll be the joke. But what she was just talking about right there is, again, there was something when we were watching that debate and Trump said, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Even I said, oh my gosh, oh man, I might have saved that one for another night. But he went there and now we're here. I went, oh no, here we go. And every ridiculous, outdated legacy news outlet there says the election is over. He ruined it. He mailed it in this time. Eating the cats and dogs. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can safely say President Harris in a couple of months. That's what they thought. And meanwhile, here are these young, mixed race, coming from all over the place, service industry employees singing these cat and dog songs at restaurants in New Orleans. Like, that actually, it wasn't the end. That was actually a rocket booster. And he had the balls to just throw it out there. But they don't understand that kind of effect because there's really no organic anything. I mean, all of the 22-year-old gimps that they pay to go out there on TikTok to talk about whatever, recycled corpse they're running for a candidate on the DNC side. They don't know what the hell's going on. They're all there. Something's happening. Nothing's happening. It's apparent nothing's happening. She lost badly. And that's just incredible. I love that that's a blind side. That's a big blind spot. And they don't have any way of really getting out of it because they have to change who they are fundamentally to break out of that. And they can't do that. They have to keep going in the other direction or else they're Hitler. By their own standards, they'd be Hitler. So I like that. We got a call from Poland. Who's this?
Hey, Frank. My name's Mike.
Mike, welcome. How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well. You're calling from
I'm
overseas?
good. Yeah, I'm actually calling you from Poland. I'm active duty military.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you on. So first, what's on your mind? Then I might have a couple questions.
So I just wanted to tell you real quick, after everything's happened over the last 2 weeks, I've been interacting with people from all over different countries, left and right, from Scotland, from South Africa, from Poland, and they are very happy about our election results. I have maybe had two people who said that they are unhappy, but they can't really clarify why.
Well, okay. So then let me ask you this. Obviously, if you're active duty, you're out there in Poland, Poland's knocking on the door of some major shit. For over the last couple of years, people were wondering if that was going to be a staging ground for a much larger, expanded conflict. From a Ukraine-Russia situation right now, from that standpoint, what's the outlook? Are people becoming a little bit more elated that the end of this might be coming to a close? Or what are people open to more and more conditions to just end the carnage? Like talk to us whatever you can about perception of what can be happening with the conflict now in Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thanks for saying what I can say. Generally, people in Poland have a very positive outlook, and they want things to end, right? They don't want things coming up to their door, but really what it is everybody, including us, wants peace at the end of the day, and they're happy about the results, but there's some concern that over a span of time, there might be a turnaround. But more or less, they're happy about the economic aspects, and they're happy about the potential coming for peace at the end of the day. And that's really the most that I can say about it. Hey, Frank, I just want to say I've been listening to you for about 5 years now, and I listen very, very closely, and I agree with all of your points over the last 5 years, and you've been kind of a point of motivation for me. I like speaking with people and telling them in a logical way how we as Americans think, and your commentary with all of your friends and all of your hosts is very helpful to feed that discussion. And I speak with people every day from different countries, and it's very positive conversations that I've been having with everybody. Every once in a while, there's people who don't agree with me, and that happens with us every day. But overall, my perspective of people who are overseas and seriously, the entire world watches our elections. The entire world depends on our elections, just to see how the interactions between different countries occur. The people who I've talked with, they're very positive with the results of what happened over the last 2 weeks. So,
well, that's great, and I really appreciate, and I thank you for the compliments, and I'm just happy that you're out there, and wherever you are in the world, you've been listening, and that we've kind of been chilling with each other. And I don't have really any the ways that I'm able to gather feedback on this show and how it's being reached and by whom is very, very limited. And I always wondered how many people who are actively serving in the military or deployed or something like that, how often I'm in the mix of people's, listening to things from back home and stuff. So it's always good to get a little bit of a glimpse of that. And I really appreciate you. I hope you call in more often. I understand that, different time zones and very specialized line of work. It might be hard at times, but if the opportunity ever doesn't present itself, you can always email if you want to share some thoughts. Always remember that. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been listening to you from Germany, from Hawaii, from Korea, and now from Poland. So I'll definitely shoot you an email and we can chat a little bit.
All right. Well, sounds good.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And send my best to all the guys and gals out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, take care. There you go. From Poland. That's a great call. All right, let's see here. You know what? I don't want to. We got 10 minutes left. I didn't get into any of this shit. Might as well just do this in 10 minutes. Let me make sure I didn't get any other tips that I'm missing. No, I think we're all good. Jimmy Ed 5 on Pilled. Thank you so much for that, Doug Simi. And 2F17 says, gentlemen from Poland, thank you for your service. Really, this is really a great night. Northern Pike in Rumble says, purebloods to repopulate the earth, drill baby drill is the words I've heard from my lover. There might be a reference I'm not getting there. Okay, so here you go. Ron Paul is talking about how you might ruffle a few feathers if you're cutting $2 trillion from the budget. This, and I would have to say for those of you who are in podcast land and can't see this, the reason why it's so interesting is because it was retweeted, uploaded, and retweeted by Vivek Ramaswamy, who is on this DOGE thing. And if they can have any kind of input from Ron Paul, and especially Rand, who's the one who puts together all those festivist reports every year, if they could put anything together and use him, oh man, that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing for our country.
We have visited with both Musk and Ramaswamy, and they're very, very dedicated, and I think they truly believe that they can cut a couple $1 trillion off the budget. But I don't think, my problem with that is that will awaken a lot of people. You can't cut $2 trillion or without annoying a couple people.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The budget. Hold on a second. Here's the thing. 2024 federal budget. Let's see here. The 2024 federal budget. Where is it? Oh man. Dear God. The deficit is 1.8 trillion. Revenue for from October 23 to September 24 with a deficit of 1.8 trillion dollars. Revenue 4.9 trillion. That's how much they stole from us. Expenditures $6.752 trillion. And the deficit 1.8 trillion. They think that they can take at least $2 trillion off, just off the top, I guess. It's so absolutely bad, so very bad. But and then I started looking into all the things that we're paying for. You, Matt, you ready for this?
Go ahead.
Here's a Yahoo Finance from actually earlier this year that I had kept just for the hell of it. Here's a little bit of just some of the crazy things that were in here. Let's see. Some of your taxes are used for fun civic projects and health research and all nonsense. As it turns out, there are both good and extremely bad ways your tax dollars can be spent. Here's one of them. Proving that gingerbread houses are earthquake-proof. $150,000 grant from the Institute of Museum and Library Services funded a workshop called How Does the Cookie Crumble? The Oregon Museum of Science and Industry took gingerbread houses designed to be earthquake resistant and put them to the test on machines that replicated major tremblers. Participants got to take their sweet, sugary houses with them. The workshop was part of the OMSI's annual Gingerbread Adventures event. $150,000.
You need money for that? You rent the fucking thing that shakes a paint can. You have people bring their fucking gingerbread house, and you fucking do it in a gymnasium or some shit.
Oh my God. It's just crazy. Turning computers into couch potatoes. Your tax dollars paid for computers to binge watch hundreds of hours of television during a 2016 study, as if you weren't already burning through your paycheck on subscription services. The program, which is funded by a $460,000 grant from the National Science Foundation and other funds for the Department of Defense's Office of Naval Research, was designed to train computers to both understand and predict human behavior.
Why?
The results were inconclusive. That's what they always say when they find something conclusive. But the good news is that the computers are all caught up on their favorite shows because they're going to have the computers analyze human beings, the way that they talk to each other and all that stuff. So hopefully that can become input for some kind of AI, machine learning nonsense, chat bot, whatever the hell it is. Finding out if playing with Barbie dolls helps with facial recognition. $300,000 study in 2016, which is more common among women in the study, enables women to be better at recognizing faces. Since Barbies are made with different faces, scientists thought that women might have a gender-based advantage when it comes to memorizing how faces look. It turns out that they likely do not. $300,000. Now, it's totally fine if you want to do all this stuff. I mean, I think one of the big things that we talked about back in like 2012 were these studies where they took Japanese quails or Japanese pigeons and they fed it cocaine to see how the cocaine affected the pigeon's sex drive. And, you know, if you bring some statist bootlickers attention to it, I'm sure they're going to say, you know, it sounds outrageous, but there's actually really useful application to the data that's collected, this and that and this. I don't give a shit if there is. If you have a hypothesis that you would like to prove or test or something like that as a scientist, as an investigator, then you have got to be able to learn to go and take your ideas out onto the free market and get yourself a grant from somewhere that's not the federal government. You have to. Because I really do, I believe, unless I'm misunderstanding something, it's only constitutional for the government to play a role in the arts and sciences that I know of when it comes to protecting intellectual property. Copyrights, trademarks, patents. I'm pretty sure that's the extent of it. Everything else, it's just, even if it's for good purpose, it's got to stop. It has to stop. It doesn't mean that science is going to stop. It doesn't. It might actually be the best thing that's ever happened to science. Here's a little bit of Rand Paul's, that we have 2 minutes left and we're going to wrap up. A little bit of Rand Paul's waste of 2022. I went back a couple of years. Giving ineligible citizens COVID economic injury disaster grants, $4.5 billion. Using COVID relief funds to construct an 11,000 square foot spa, $140 million. Using COVID relief funds to purchase luxury cars, $31.5 million. Wisconsin school using COVID relief funds to upgrade turf fields, $1.6 million. Because they want to go to turf. Camouflage uniforms that do not fit the Afghanistan environment, $28 million. Funding a 1.5-mile park in Austin, Texas, used for yoga and concerts from the DOD, $9 million. Also from the DOD, Starbucks espresso machines, $192,592. From the Treasury, $475 billion was interest payments on the debt. That's just the interest. We're not even taking away. We're not even cutting into the principal. From the GSA, maintaining 77,000 empty federal buildings, $1.7 billion. Basic education projects in Jordan, $210 million. Helping illegal immigrants avoid deportation, $168 million. Subsidizing the free New York Staten Island ferry, $70 million. Oh my gosh. Overpaying government contractors for terminated contracts, $69 million. But then when you start getting into what's going on overseas, constructing a Gandhi museum, $3 million. Watching hamsters fight on steroids. That's on the NIH. They gave hamsters steroids and they actually created like a fight club to see what it does to them. Watching hamsters fight on steroids, $3 million. Super Bowl commercials telling you how to fill out the census, $2.5 million. Injecting a 6-month-old beagle puppy or beagle puppies with cocaine, again, NIH, Fauci, $2.3 million. Encouraging Ethiopians to wear shoes, $2.1 million.
What the fuck?
You will go nuts. You will throw up. Every year, Rand Paul puts out the Festivist reports. It's one of the last things he does in December. We'll do it again. Right around the time that we get the report on the strangest things that people have stuck up their rectums for the year. We get the reports from the emergency rooms. Don't miss that if you're a new viewer. Let's see here. Training mice to binge alcohol, $1.1 million. Studying social life and collective intelligence of ants, $675,000. If you gave somebody back, give me a little bit of that $675,000. I'll have a little bit more of a social life myself. Using mice to study racial aggression, $500,000, Matt. Redeveloping the United States hard cider market. USDA is in the wants to make sure that hard cider is doing good. Verifying that kids love pets, $185,000, $500. So I mean, that's just a little bit of it. The USAID stuff is crazy. Boosting the Tunisia travel sector during COVID. Boosting Tunisia's travel sector, $50 million. Anything USAID is where you're really going to go nuts, because that's when they just start giving it away to everybody else. So yeah, you can call it DOGE. You can make all the jokes you want. I just hope that they are very serious about what they're doing, and I hope that all the recommendations they pass along is just ruthlessly cut. Ruthless. All right, guys and gals. You want to know what's on the after hours tonight? Here's what's on the after hours. Number one, go to quitefrankly.tv and hit the forum. We need your Christmas cards. Okay? We give it family photos, the classic Christmas cards from throughout your family's history, whatever it is. Go to the forum. At the top of the forum, there is submit your Christmas cards. We want you front and center in the December newsletter, which comes out first Monday in December. I believe that's the 2nd of December. We would love you guys in there, please. All of your Thanksgiving submissions were just fantastic. It made it so. It felt so good and heartwarming, and there's nothing like Christmas cards. I think we can all get nostalgic about that, even if it's not our family. So please be a part of that. Go to the forum and just drop it in. If you want to be a part of that and you're just confused, email me, quitefranklypodcast@gmail.com. I'll direct you there. I'll post on your behalf. I just want you involved. And it costs absolutely nothing. And then over here, right now, about to start on quitefrankly.tv, Black Conservative Perspective. Mayor Adams on The View. Carl Benjamin, the 4B movement. Okay, so Sargon of Akkad is going to be talking about the 4B movement that we were just talking about with AK. Paul Joseph Watson, bye-bye. Tim Gordon, Chrissy Mayer, Gerald Salente and Judge Napolitano about Trump cabinet picks. The good, the bad, the ugly. Tucker Carlson, how Joe Rogan changed media forever. And then Art Bell, Open Lines, Anything Goes from November 2015. So that's probably midnight in the desert. That's all starting right now on quitefrankly.tv. Get over there. I'll see you in the chat room in a little bit. And then, yeah, I'll definitely be awake because I'll be waiting for the fight to start on Netflix. So thanks, everybody. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night, wonderful weekend. Please become a sponsor. We have some Polaroids that are still open, and we're giving out all types of free coffee. If you become a Polaroid sponsor on Patreon or Subscribestar, there's a couple left of each. You get free coffee along with the monthly one-of-a-kind Polaroid from our household over here. We always send you something fun. And then there is bookmarks and stickers and everything else. Become a Polaroid sponsor. I'd love to have you on. And that's what we're trying to sell out before the end of November. Good night, everybody. And thanks, Matt, for coming by. Everybody loves when you're here.
Thank you, Francis.
All right. See you later.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
I want you to know that I've smoked pot.